Hey guys, I'm Cory. I'm from Cary, Ohio. I have 6 years in recovery. Today, I am a productive member of society.
Cory, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to On the Road of Recovery with us here today in Hancock County in Findlay, Ohio at the Focus Recovery and Wellness Community Center. It's amazing the work that you guys are doing here with peer support and stuff. We're really glad to be here today.
Thanks, John.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Sure. So let's start at the beginning. Can you share a little bit about your childhood? So what your family life was like, if you experienced any trauma, anything like that.
Everybody drank, every holiday, birthdays, any reason to drink, they drank. And I didn't even know people didn't drink like me until I was in my 30s. And then by that time I really didn't care, but it was a loving family, grandparents, cousins, my very best friends from the earliest age was cousins, I couldn't wait for our parents to get together and drink so we could hang out, It was a very loving family. It was just a lot of alcohol abuse, and later on in life I found out drug abuse. As a child I didn't realize that. There was some traumatic events. I had a cousin die between first and second grade. He was born 2 weeks after me, so it was like we were bosom buddies, always together. And I really didn't understand, at 7 years old, why my cousin was just gone, so that was kind of traumatic for me as a young man or young boy. I had an uncle that died in a car accident. There was some trauma. I didn't really understand it as a child, but it did kind of affect me, and then my parents divorced when I was early teens, 13, 14, and that was really when I just started acting out. I started doing what Cory wanted to do, no matter what the consequences were. Cory did what he wanted to do, regardless. And there was a lot of juvenile youth center visits because of it.
What was your first use like?
So, a lot of times when our family would get together, the kids were always the beer tenders. We would go get the beers out of the cooler, we would open them, we would get to suck off the foam off the top of the beers, and I really didn't like the taste of beer, but it gave me this fuzzy feeling, and I liked that. But my first excessive use, my dad turned 30, I think. I was 10 years old. They lined up 30 shots of whiskey at my grandma's bar, because my grandma owned a bar. He started on one end and I started on the other end.
Wow.
Needless to say, that was not a very good night for me after that.
What did it do for you when you started to use? What was it that made it?
It really just took me out of myself. It made me feel fuzzy, it made me feel lovable. It made me feel like there was nothing wrong in the world, that everything was right. And that's kind of where I was at the beginning, beginning of my use.
So how did your disease progress into your adulthood and to now?
So I was, like I said, I did a lot of what Cory wanted to do. So a lot of times, we'd all party on the weekends as teenagers. I was one of the only kids that would party every night of the week, because I was a party guy. I liked the camaraderie. I liked the social interaction. I wasn't a very social person. I was kind of awkward. And as I used alcohol and drugs, I became social. People liked having me around. I was fun. I was witty, all this stuff that alcohol makes you think that you are.
Yeah. Share a story that really highlights your use.
So, I drank a little bit here and there. I drank a lot, but it became daily use. The wife was having problems, and then I hurt my back in 99, I think it was, and the doctor prescribed the pain pills. And it gave me the exact feeling that I wanted, and I wasn't drunk. I didn't fall down. I didn't get in a lot of trouble. It was heaven sent. Plus, it got rid of the pain. So I used them as prescribed until I realized that I couldn't drink and take the pain pills like prescribed because I'd fall asleep, which means I couldn't party. So it was one or the other. My drinking actually tapered off to almost non-existent, but my pain pill use got heavier and heavier and heavier. I decided to have smoke a joint for one of my birthdays. I had a doctor's appointment a week later, and he drug tested me. He cut me off completely cold turkey, which is very, very hard to do. So I started self-medicating, buying them off the streets, and from there I went to selling them to make money so that I could afford to do them the way I wanted to do them. And then from there it progressed to heroin because it's so much cheaper and did the same thing. We got rid of the pain and it made me not feel the feelings that I was feeling.
How did your addiction impact family, friends, and employment?
So I was a very hard person to employ because I have an attitude, especially when I got what I want and I'm going to do what I want anyways. So there was job losses. Me and the wife split up, numerous times. I was non-existent in my kids' lives. They were always wondering when there was a concert or a baseball game if I was going to show up on time or how late I was going to be. Most of the times I showed up, I just had to cop first. And sometimes that took a little bit. And, I loved my kids, but I had to be high first. Physically, I did all right until I got off the opioids, but then I realized how much damage that I had caused in my injury anyway, because of it. So it actually caused more damage because I wasn't taking them prescribed, so I didn't know my limitations. So I did things a little more than I should have. And then mentally, there's a lot of times I forget, what I'm saying, even still today. Even though it's been 6 years, I still try to remember words and what they mean and how to use them, and it takes a toll on you.
At what point did you recognize that you have a problem?
I was probably, so I was sent to AA as a juvenile because I caught underage drinking. I did not feel that I had a problem. One of the guys, one of the AAs in the rooms said, if you don't think that you have a problem, go out and practice some controlled drinking. So I tried that for 30 years. So at the end, it was probably about, I'd say 7 years before I actually, God help, that I knew that there was a problem. The problem was I didn't want to withdraw coming off of the opiates. So I became a maintenance user, just to keep the withdrawals at bay.
So what happened that you decided to get help?
So there was an instance where I wanted to unalive myself. I couldn't do it. So it became a feeling of I don't want to die, but I don't want to live either. I don't care whether I lived or died. It was one of those I just didn't care anymore, and that scared me. So I prayed for help. I called my sister. My sister got me an interview to a treatment facility, an intake interview. I went to that interview on a Tuesday. I got indicted on Wednesday, and I got thrown in jail on Thursday. That started my rehabilitation.
Wow. Did you detox in jail?
I did, for about 6 days, and I finally talked my wife into getting a bail bondsman to get me out of there. I got released from jail the day before my first Suboxone appointment, so I still made it to the Suboxone appointment, and I was on the Suboxone for about 7 months. and they wanted me to continue to take as prescribed up until day of sentencing. And I said, there's no way. So I titrated myself off in 30 days. I went from 2 to 1 to half to a quarter. And that's what I did for 7 days each one. And then I went into sentencing, and I had 3 days where I was really tired after I was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. But then again, was it depression or was it withdrawals?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those.
What kind of supports helped you in your early recovery?
So I asked the judge for rehab, and she decided that the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections was where I needed to go for rehab. There was not a lot of sober supports in prison. There was like 2 meetings. I started up 2 more meetings, and there was a 3rd meeting that started. So out of 7 days, we had 5 meetings, and then I got with like-minded individuals, and we got together on Saturday and Sunday. We played cards, and we just talked recovery, and that was what kept us sane while in prison. You know, because there's just not a lot of help, especially during COVID.
How difficult was it during COVID and during your stay to get those meetings started that you started?
It was quite difficult, because it had to come down from the warden, and the recovery team had to be involved, and there was therapists, and everybody had to put their signature on it so that they looked like they all had a part in it, when really we were going to get together anyways, regardless. I just wanted it to be an official thing, that way I could advertise and have people come to it.
Can you share any stigmas that you faced while recovering, whether from family, friends, community, employment, or healthcare? Or corrections?
I'm a junkie. You know what I mean? Junkie was a big one. Oh my gosh, you did heroin, you're a junkie. You know, while you're drinking a 30-pack of beer every night, and call me a junkie. You know, I don't call myself those names anymore, so that doesn't bother me. But there was a lot of, oh, you're a felon, and you're a junkie, and there was, 2-time loser. You know, it's just, it was a lot for us to emotionally go through and get through. You know, because you are yourself's worst critic, and once you get through the guilt, shame, and remorse of your active addiction, then it's a little easier to move on from that.
Yeah. What do you do today to maintain your mental, physical, and spiritual health?
So I usually wake up very early in the morning. You know, not normal for most of us. Right. Very early in the morning, like 5 a.m. I sit usually on the porch or outside, and I watch the sun light in the sky, and I listen to the birds, and I meditate over my coffee. Coffee's first. And then, I'll say a quick prayer, just, hey, it's me again. I need your guidance. Help me help you. And then I just thank him for the day and go on. And then, throughout the day, if I have to reset, refocus, readjust, whatever it takes, my job is wonderful. They let me take 15, 20 minutes if I need, just to go reset, get some nature in, get some air, just calm, and then get back at it.
So how has recovery helped you to heal your relationships that were damaged during your active use?
So me and my kids have a wonderful relationship now. Me and my ex-wife, she's now my ex-wife, but we are better friends than we ever were married couple. You know what I mean? So it's helped me. My recovery has helped me see the potential in everybody else. You know what I mean? I work on myself daily so that I don't make the same mistakes that I made in my active addiction, and I can help spread that awareness.
What have you learned about yourself from your addiction and recovery?
That even though I was once a selfish person, I can be selfless and have a very high level of empathy.
Describe a feeling that you've received through your recovery that was not there through your active use.
That I love life. I love other people. I never actually really thought of loving other people that wasn't related to me, but now I want to see everybody strive and succeed. And whether I know them or not, even if I don't really like them, I want to see them succeed, because I want to see everybody succeed.
Sure. What dreams do you have for your future?
All kinds of dreams. I really just want to be the best version of myself that I can be. I want to help as many people as I can. You know, I was a very shady person, and I hurt a lot of people, and my way of giving back is to help as many people as I can.
What are some internal and external motivators that keep you in recovery today?
Internal motivators, you know, I try to remember where I came from, you know, who I was, what I have become, you know, and to see the good in everybody as much as I can.
About external motivators?
External motivators, kids, grandkids, co-workers. You know, like I said, I really want to see everybody succeed, especially my kids and my grandkids, and love them dearly.
Cory, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and share some inspiration and hope for those who need to hear it most. Your story is going to help to spread awareness, humanize addiction, end stigma, and inspire hope one story at a time. Thank you so much for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.